I just wanted to get the day started out by talking about the situation that I reference a number of times in some of my videos. It's actually two situations. The first one I'll start with is Hungary. So as you can see, it says subsidies for minivans. Hungarian government paying citizens to start families, but only the right kind of families. And when it says, but only the right kind of families, it really means, but only the white kind of families. Listen, I'm mature. You don't have to lie to me. The covert like wordplay and racism, it's like I don't even care anymore because first of all, I look forward and I see the bigger picture that you're basically going down. It's called entropy. Entropy means all things come to an end. So basically, what's happening here is thanks to the women's rights and the prophylactics and everything, birth rates are going down. Now, I only want to look at two cases right now because I could keep on going and I could look at China. And China had a problem so big with the one child policy that now they've created too many males, not enough females. So now China's saying that we don't have much of a millennial generation, we don't have much of a Generation Z. So we actually need you people to go out there and have three children. So anybody who thought the one child policy was still a thing, it's not. China, the government literally told them to go out and have three children. Literally, they did. So I don't even want to talk about China. India has the same problem China does because they did that one child policy shit and they got rid of all their female children and now they've created a male female imbalance. But I don't want to talk about them, so I'm not going to talk about them. I just want to focus real quickly on Hungary. This is an old story, but in American news, they didn't really talk about this. You see, in American news, we talk about nonsense all the time. Like it's bullshit. Like when you talk about American news, they're either talking about what Trump ate this morning for breakfast and why he's a Russian spy, or they're talking about how Biden is doing a great job when we clearly know he's not, because they're liars. That's the reason why I make these videos, regardless how many views they get or not. So anyway, March 2020. Subsidies for minivans. Hungarian government paying citizens to start families, but only the white kind of families. Okay, so just as Hungary sits in the middle of Europe, so too does it reside at the gravitational center of the right-wing populist movement. A worldwide shift impacting countries from Poland to Philippines. By today's definition, populism unlocks national pride, nostalgia, while taking a hardline stance on immigration. But what does it look like on the ground? We went to Hungary to see populism in practice, examining a specific government program designed to stimulate birth rate in the face of sharply declining population. So I'm going to stop right there. Now, you guys know me. So I'm the black man who graduated with a bachelor's degree with a 500 credit score, went to grad school, got two master's degrees, paid for the second one out of pocket, 4.0 average straight across, both of them, paid my own way, never took a dime in welfare, ain't never been on nobody's unemployment line. And I'm a real Republican, not like you fucking big government conservatives out there who are voting for the next person who promises to make things easier for you. Didn't get a dime in fucking stimulus because I make over six figures. Didn't get a fucking dime. While I watched y'all get your stimulus checks and run out there and pump up Dogecoin and fucking Bitcoin, I didn't get a dime. Not a dime. So I hate the welfare state. If I could somehow kill the welfare state, I would. I would do it now. Like right now, it's 9:12. I actually have an appointment at 12 o'clock, and I should be getting up right now to get ready because I want to be out of here by 10, but I have to do this video first about how much I hate the fucking welfare state. As much as I complain and hate the welfare state and despise the people who are sucking down welfare dollars while simultaneously making the economy worse, I have to look at the bigger picture and recognize that the welfare state is growing because it's the only thing keeping you people moving alive. It's the only thing. So when I see stuff like this, it helps me understand the bigger picture that these governments want welfare. It's just like I was looking at the situation in the Sahara Desert. Sam Kinison, he had a joke where he said he wouldn't give those people on UNICEF, he wouldn't give them a dime. What he would do is he'd take them to where the food is. And the question is, why are we paying people to occupy substandard positions and conditions? Well, the reason why is simple. It's because rich people aren't going to do those jobs. Rich people aren't going to be septic tank cleaners. Rich people aren't going to be pumping gas at gas stations. Ultimately, what it comes down to is poor people are kept around to be a subclass to service the wealthy. Now, there aren't that many wealthy, and there also aren't as many middle class because that middle class title is starting to shrink and people are getting poorer. But ultimately, the rich and the middle class need the poor around to service them. So they have, affordable housing in rich neighborhoods. Now, rich people go out and protest it, but I think at some point somebody taps them on the shoulder and says, hey, yo, Richie, if we don't keep some of these poor people around, who'll there be to do the jobs? I want you to think about something. Paul Mooney, and I'll give him the credit. Paul Mooney had a joke long before he died where it wasn't even a joke, it was an anecdote. Slaves lived in the house with their slave owners. Now, there were some slaves who lived in the house. There were some slaves who lived outside the house in lesser conditions. But the bottom line was the rich slave owners were not afraid to have those slaves in the house as long as they were slaves. When the Emancipation Proclamation happened and the 13th Amendment came about and ended slavery, all of a sudden segregation began. Segregation didn't happen until those slaves became citizens. Once they became citizens and the wealthy lost their power, now it's time for your ass to go. We can't have you up in here. You can stay in my house as long as you're my slave and I can do whatever I want to you. But the moment that you get free now, you got to get the fuck out. You got to go. Think about that. I want you to think about that. See, I say the shit that you ain't going to hear on MSNBC and you ain't going to hear it on CNN and you ain't going to hear it on Fox. So anyway, let's get back to the story. And by the way, I'm going to provide the link so that you can read this yourself because I'm not reading all this bullshit because, they've got about 30 different stories about the same thing. So I'm not going to read all this. The Hungarian government has taken over most private fertility clinics. So they're probably cloning these motherfuckers at this point, offering free treatments and also gives away cash loans and even, get this, subsidies to buy minivans. I was also reading that they also give you subsidies to buy any 7-seat vehicle because obviously they want these chicks out there fucking. So anyway, it's an effort to keep Hungary Hungarian. America for Americans. Let's send all the Indians back to Africa. I wonder if anybody gets that reference. Probably not. But peel back the layers and it reveals something else entirely. Social engineering designed to yield only a certain kind of Hungarian baby. Ooh, I think they mean a white one. So anyway, it's an almost relentlessly pleasant Saturday outside of, but I'm not going to read all this. I'm not going to read all this. You get the point. It's not just minivans they're offering. Almost like a prize list at an arcade. The mere promise to have one child gets you a $30,000 loan. Yeah, but it's a loan. I don't want to have to pay it back. See, that's the problem. Y'all putting these people in debt. That's the reason. See, it's so crazy. I think it's just so amazing. It's just like I'm looking at this student loan shit. First of all, having these women in college for this long is running up the debt and you're not going to pay it off. You're giving them loans. You're running up their debt. You're keeping them in college. You're making them older before they have their first kid. The men don't want them. The men get their passports. The men go to another country and get a younger wife. This is not rocket science. Commit to having 4 kids or more. Mom doesn't have to pay income tax for life. How about that shit? I bet y'all didn't know about this. You could put a 1 in the chat if you didn't know about this. You did not know about this. Income tax free. All you got to do is have 4 kids. They got these women out there like stray cats. I bet y'all didn't know about this. I bet y'all did not know about this. See, right now, MSNBC and CNN are preaching that the white supremacists have something going on called replacement theory, where they're basically saying that they're being replaced by immigrants and colored people. Well, I just want to add something to that so that you'll sleep better at night. No, it's not replacement theory. It's replacement fact. Your own women aren't having your kids no more. Even with Roe versus Wade, even pushing that aside, your own women are determined to have more power than you. And you can listen to me because I'm not going to lie to you. I see it for what it is. Your women are determined to have more power than you. They're not going to have your kids if they don't want them, and you have no control over them. I think it's hilarious. Terms and conditions apply, and the plan isn't open to everyone. But it does address a huge problem that the country faces: a low birth rate and the hemorrhaging of people. Hungary's population, now under 10 million, has declined for 37 straight years. I'm not going to read the rest of this. I think you get the point. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. So here's the thing. Europe's population is declining. China's population is getting older. India's population is getting older. America is lucky in that the millennials are here. However, fewer and fewer people are having children because they're waiting later and later in life to have them. That's going to mean that there's going to be a population crisis in America where you're going to have the population's going to be aging. And then on top of that, we don't know what Generation Alpha is going to do. But if the trend that we see now continues, where you have females not having children and using prophylactics and abortion and this, that, and other, population is going to go down. It's just that obvious. I mean, you don't have to be a goddamn mathematician to figure this out. You don't. Okay, well, that's it for story number 1. Now, this was March 2020, so I had to bring that up first. Okay, so here's the story I saw this morning. Russia is offering a hero's medal and $16,000 to women who have 10 kids. 10 kids! Come on, comrade, let's jump into the sack. It comes with stipulations including raising all children with an appropriate level of care, and all of them have to be born alive, aside from those killed in military or civic service. Russia has long faced an economic challenge from a declining and aging population, which has accelerated since its invasion of Ukraine. The Russian government announced it is reviving the Soviet-era honorary title Mother Heroine. Me personally, I would call it Mother Russia. Like, I'd give you a pin that says Mother Russia, and if you had a bunch of kids for the state, like, I'd give you a pin and it would say Mother Russia on it. That would be fun. But their idea is Mother Heroine. Yeah, that kind of sounds boring. Why don't you just call it Mother Russia? Anyway. According to a decree signed this week by Vladimir Putin, the title will be awarded to those who birth and raise 10 Russian citizens. Jesus Christ. I don't even think vagina works that well. Like, could you do? My grandma had seven kids. If you can squeeze out 10 out of, wow, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because you'd have to start having sex. You'd have to be like 15 or 16 or 18 or something, and you'd have to literally be putting out a kid a year. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. The math ain't mathing. So anyway, the children must have been given the appropriate level of care for health. Yeah, because everybody can afford that after you've just had a long, costly war. Yeah, good luck with that, Vlad. Meanwhile, all 10 children must be alive unless they died during military service. Yeah, okay. The mother, I don't want to call it Mother Heroine. I want to call it Mother Russia. The Mother Russia Award was established in 1944 and bestowed until the collapse of the Soviet Union in 91. Recipients will receive a medal of a 5-pointed red star, the decree states. It's got to be a red star. It has to say mother. It's got to be a hammer and sickle inside of a red star. Let me design it. I can do a great job of this. Because as much as you want to get away from your Soviet roots, I already know that that's exactly what you're doing. You're going back to it. It's just like that episode of The Simpsons. It's like, yeah, Homer, that's what we wanted you to think. But anyway, they will be an equivalent rank to those with the titles Hero of the Russian Federation, usually awarded for bravery, and Hero of Labor, awarded for service to the state. If I'm not mistaken, Professor Valery Legasov from the Chernobyl incident got this award. And I also believe the boat captain of the K-19 and K-19 Widowmaker, that was actually a real story, not like Hunt for Red October. Captain Ramius did not exist. But anyway, they both got that award too. So anyway, Russia's working age population has been declining as a share of the overall state since 2010. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I'll leave you the link for this. The Russian population fell by a record 86,000 people a month from January to May, the Moscow Times report citing official figures. The previous record was a decline of 57,000 people a month in 2002. Yeah, well, you're fighting a war. That doesn't help. Rawstat said the overall population now totaled 145.1 million, which is actually interesting because the last time I looked, I thought it was 144 million. But, you see the numbers yourself. You see them. So this is what it is, guys. Population decline. So you've got women who've decided that they're going to waste their lives in college. You've got men who are sitting at home playing PlayStation 5 instead of getting their wives pregnant or their girlfriends pregnant. You have a huge decline in teen pregnancy. You've got huge increases in prophylactic use. You've got the huge increases in abortion and abortifacients like Plan B, to the point where now the government is literally bribing people to get pregnant. How about that? Bribing you to get pregnant. Well, that's it. That's it. Those are the two stories. You tell me what you think. Regardless what you think, entropy is real. All things come to an end.